Check it out. In this episode, we swap out our old gauge cluster for one with a rev counter. So we're going to clean it up. Soap water should be fine. And we'll put it in the car. Okay, we've had a quick clean with just some warm soapy water and a sponge. Unfortunately, the previous owner had written Bantam in Tipex across the front here. Trying to get rid of it has really scratched this plastic cover. It's annoying. It's gonna piss me off. But I'll find a way to sort that out. Anyway, those are the dials. Now you'll notice I've already pulled out my rev counter needle. Reason for that is we are changing out the faces of these dials. As they are, when illuminated they go green, but I wanted white faces on these, so I got sports faces, and this is what they look like. So got these from Ortiz out in Johannesburg. It'll be more or less like that inside. You can already see these are going to have a red illumination to them, like that. Focus, there you go. That's what we'll see at night. So I just need to pull the stopper off, get these screws out, and we'll be able to pop these guys in. You can see they've got the little matching holes everywhere. So I'm gonna grab my screwdriver and we'll get into it. Now try and remove the stopper. No, the stopper comes with it. Perfect. Looks like it comes out the back. In case you're wondering, that's what the inside looks like. And that's the back. That's why these ones are green in the light, because the back is green. I can't seem to get the stopper out. Seems to be the most difficult thing in the world to get out. So I'm gonna attempt to run without it for now and see what happens. So at least there's a quick difference for you. You're probably wondering why the needle is moving. Well, because the screwdriver is magnetic. That's why. Put it away, it resets. Damn, this thing is dirty. It's making some difference, but not a whole lot. Anyway, now that we're in here, you can see I've installed these guys. Little LED bulbs for illumination. There's a few of them. There's one down there. There's actually four. There's two on each side. Yeah, well, let's see how it goes. There are other bulbs, like that one in there for the indicator. There's a few of them. I need to get more. The store ran out of stock. But before I go any further, let's see. Will this do it? Yes. Okay, here we go. This is what we're looking for. Alignment there. Yazaki. Need to clean this a little bit. seems we're not done. We're going even further. Depending on your model, whichever optional extras you have, you can get a seatbelt warner, washer fluid low, and rear fog lights. I don't know if my wiring already has that in place. I know I don't have rear fog lights, but I don't know if it'll tell me if I have low washer fluid or if my seat belts are not done. I do know I don't have any bulbs in there though, so maybe that's worth a look. Now let's get this guy out. There you go, nice and easy. To try and pull this guy out. There you go. Now okay. The whole thing comes out. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And now to line up these holes. So good. Okay, I'm not gonna force the double side tape down yet. I want to have the screws provide alignment first. There we go. Now apply the double side tape. Don't actually need it, but there we go. That's the center done. I need to clean this and that, and we'll put it back in here. Much better. In case you're wondering, up here is your high beam and choke. I have an electronic choke in my car, self-regulating, so I won't be needing that extra bulb. That's what we're looking for. Nice. Almost forgot to peel off the backing on the double side tape. Which means I'm gonna have to get this alignment correct the first time. I'm gonna need 2 hands for this, so I'm gonna put the camera down and I'll come back. And that is a full conversion. Excellent. There we go. Sports gauges. These guys, it's always so funny. Now this cover simply just clips in. Oh yeah, he wrote Bantam there, and he also wrote it down here, but this time in paint. Anyway, good thing is no one will ever get to see that, so just need to line up these clips. And that's that. 3 more on top. That is your complete gauge. Now we can go put this in the car, but before we do, just want to attempt to roll this back a bit. Now the previous owner told me I need a small Allen key, so put my Allen key set here. Hopefully one of these guys will do the trick. Looks like he was right. I managed to roll back that last digit in the white from, well, roll it forward from 3 to 4. So that's doing it by hand for like 5 minutes. So what I'm gonna need to do is take this little guy, cut off the end, put this in my drill bit, and then wind this back down. Now I've already taken out the old gauge cluster. It's in the house. I'll put in a little video of it so you can see if you're really interested, but I just wanted to show you the illumination. So now the one you need is this big white plug. There's a small plug and another one that's black. It's hidden down there. You won't really see it, but yeah, it's behind it's actually fallen behind this guy. Don't worry about it. For now, we're just going to plug this boy in. Now it only goes in one way, so there's no way you can screw it up. If you do manage to screw it up, then, well, you're a special breed. Anyway, I'm going to turn the flash off and hit the lights. Look at that. Alleged sports gauges. There's a little, there you go. And yeah, that's not too bad. This is what it came from. It's the Auto Sport dial kit. Let's test this out. Now the rev counter does this thing. I think there's like an electrical short where it jumps up like that. That noise that you heard is a fan that I run behind my infotainment display to keep it cool. Let's hit it. I need to recalibrate the RPM. That's obviously way too high. Even the fuel, I do have a full tank, but yeah, the fuel is a little exuberant right now. Okay, so we're in the house and this is the stock gauge cluster for the 1.3, with exception to the rev counter. This is my attempt at making a rev counter once upon a time. It worked very well, but you know, it's obviously not meant to be there, and also this protrudes further than the cover that goes over the gauge cluster, and trying to drill a hole into that is not necessarily the best idea, as you can see. It cracked the day I attempted that, and well, yeah. Anyway, the gauge works, white LEDs and everything, it's brilliant. But I got to thinking, so what if, because the issue I have with my new 1.6 liter gauge cluster is, the odometer is reading 689,000 kilometers, which is way too high and way too above what my car currently is at. Now it says 203,000. The trick is to rewind the clock. Now I've pulled out, as you can see, 1.6 cluster, and that's where you plug in that hole there. That's where your speedometer cable goes, but that's where you plug in your small Allen key and run your drill backwards, which is cool, but it'll take a huge truckload amount of time to roll the clock back. So I got to thinking, can I transplant this odometer into my 1.6 gauge cluster? It seems like it initially, but you can't. They look almost identical, but they are slightly different for various reasons, and also the gear mechanism inside that runs the odometer actually run in two different directions between the 1.3 and the 1.6. This little gear here spins in the opposite direction on the 1.3, so you can't mix and match the two, unfortunately. I've tried, but having disassembled this, and you literally just pull this guy out gently. It's got a big copper disc on the back there, copper wheel that slots in there, and this pin runs all the way through. As you can see it there, it slots into the center there. So you just gently pull this out and it'll pop out. But this awards me a great opportunity, because now I can do this by hand without this gear being held in place here. I can spin this by hand. So I'm gonna do that, roll the clock back to 203,700 kilometers. Then I'm gonna put this all back together, and I'll finally have an odometer that's correct with my new gauge cluster. So here's a trick. I actually discovered a faster way to roll this back and get it clean. As you can see, that number 4 is dirty there. Best thing to use is a dremel with this soft bristle. I think it's like plastic bristles. You want to grab one of those, and that's the best way to do it. Have a look at the speed and how quickly it cleans it. See the number 4? Brand new. Now watch the speed as well. This is not fast forwarded. This is in real time. This will get your odometer exactly where you need it to be real quick. And the best part is these bristles will not damage the gears. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 203,000 kilometers, exactly what it should be. So now I'm gonna plug this guy back in. Just simply sits in place. It will self-align because of that cutout at the back. Now put the 2 screws in there, and we are golden. Perfect. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you do a swap. I'll try and get some polish and buff this out. But otherwise, there you have it. Now to put this back in the car. As I said, I'm gonna go put this back in the car. I don't know if anybody would want this old cluster, but if you do, let me know. Put it up for sale. Make me an offer. Anyway, not important. Let's go put this in the car. Well, here's something unexpected. It turns out on the 1.6 cluster, that final digit there is 100 meters, not 1 kilometer. 1 kilometer is the one next over, meaning this reading here is 20,300. Unlike on the 1.3, that's 200,160. So I'm gonna have to roll this again. So I'm gonna remove the 2 and move all these numbers over, so it'll be 0, 3, 7, 3, etc. Bit of a shame, and it's weird, but hey, there you go. For some reason the 1.6s have 1 digit less, so you just have to be more meticulous in keeping track of your mileage. Oh, and I'm going to put on these stoppers now. I found a way to remove them from the old one.